This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, my name is Prashant Bopalkar and my teammates are Bhavik Bafna and Purvesh Kotecha. In past few months, we are working on the MERN-based food delivery app project in the Webstack Academy. So basically, what is MERN-Stack? MERN-Stack is a combination of MongoDB Express React Node.js. The developer's user-friendly food delivery app using a MERN-Stack enables user to order food items. So the architecture and key features of our project, which contains home page, menu page, cart page, confirm order page, payment page, and order history page. Home page. Home page is a list restaurants with search and filter options. Menu page displays restaurant menus with dish details, prices, and images. Cart page manages the user cart and enables order placement. Payment page integrates security payment gateways. Next slide. So key features of our project, which are user authentication, browser restaurants, the list your restaurants with address and ratings, view menus, show restaurant menus with dish details, order placement, allow users to play orders with delivery address, payment integration, secure payment transaction, responsive design, which is compatible with different devices and screen sizes. So basically, it is responsive. Brief project requirements. Firstly, we have to install the MongoDB Express.js, React framework, and Node.js for the configuration. Development tools, code editor, VS Code, Git for version control. Backend APIs are the food item, restaurant APIs, menu APIs for order APIs, user authentication API, reviews API, platform, Postman. Full stack. Full stack is a development refers to the end-to-end application software development, including the front end and back end. The front end consists of the user interface, and the back end take care of business logic application workflow. Next slide. Merge stack components. The merge stack is a combination of MongoDB Express.js, React, and Node.js. MongoDB is a NoSQL database that stores data in flexible JSON-like format. Express.js is a web application framework for Node.js. It simplifies building web applications and APIs. React is a JavaScript library for the user interface. It often used for the creating dynamic and interactive web application. Node.js, a runtime environment that executes JavaScript on the server. It be commonly used for the building side applications and APIs. Next slide. So MongoDB, as we discussed, MongoDB is a NoSQL database that stores flexible data. Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. Project implementation details. So we set up the server, then front end we develop front end using React. Then we do user authentication, payment integration, and then we make utilizes CSS framework for responsive and mobile friendly design. Database configuration. MongoDB database configured to store user data, restaurant information, and orders. Version control. We use Git for the version control. Project demonstration. So conclusion is that our learning experience of the project provides is the it provides us a valuable experience how to work on uh, how to work on the product platforms, and future enhancement give us future enhancement opportunity exists for the expanding features and improving our user experience. Meeting these requirements ensures a successful implementation on the Mon food delivery app. Next. So next slide can be explained by Purvesh.
Okay, so now let me take you through the website of Order It. So whenever a new user will visit our website, he'll get this login page. If he is a new user, he'll register it The fields are name, email, password, confirm password, phone number. He can choose his avatar and register it. Once he has registered, he can log in it using email and his password. Even if he forgets his password, he has an option of forget password where the email will be sent to him about the changing his password. So once he log in, the homepage of the order it website will occur. Here, the total number of restaurants will be displayed. And here, as you can see, the Cafe Coffee Day, Hotel Empire, and these are the few restaurants which are currently listed here. The user also has the option of sorting and filtering. So if a user just want the pure veg website or say restaurant, he can click on pure veg, and here he can see there are currently two restaurants which are pure veg, which is Domino's Pizza and Chai Point. If you want, but if he want again the rest of the others, he can click on show all. Now the user also has an option of sort by reviews. So here, as you can see, Meghna Biryani has 96 reviews, Domino's has 90 reviews. So based on the number of reviews, the restaurants are sorted. The restaurants are also sorted by ratings. So as you can see here, Chai Point has 5-star rating, Manish Dum Biryani has 5-star rating, Domino's has 4.5. So basically based on the number of rating, uh, the restaurants are sorted out here. Now, as you can see over here, there is search bar given. So you can also search your favorite restaurants through the search bar menu. Now let's say if I want chai, I want to drink a chai. So here there are various types of chai are listed, which are kesari, elaichi, Irani, ginger chai, and lemon chai. So I can just simply add to cart. I'll just increment here the number of chai I need. Now once here, for instance, I have added two chai, which are of rupees 60. Now here in cart option, I can see here that the Kesari Lechi chai has been added to my cart, and the order summary is like the subtotal units are 2 and the total cost will be 120. Now once I click on checkout, I'll get this address of delivery address, confirm order and payment. So I'll just write my delivery address. Say Sahyadri Vishwa Building, Loni, Kalbur. Then they ask for city, which is Pune, and I'll write my phone number. Then postal code of Kalbur, and then I'll select the country as India. And then once I click on continue, the confirm order page appears where the delivery info, name, phone number, address, cart items will appear. And here you can see that the subtotal and tax has been counted. You can click on process payment. Okay, in short period, the payment info will appear over there. So coming on to our code base. So basically this was all about our website. Coming to our code base. Here we have two folders which are front end and back end. In front end, in the source folder we have created actions, components, constants and reducers. The backend was already ready and we have just connected all the front end part with the backend. So coming to the action part here in React, actions are not a built-in concept or a core part of the framework like component or state. Instead, the concept of action is often used in combination with state of management libraries such as Redux or MobX to manage and update application state. So basically, actions are a way to describe events or changes that can occur in an application, and they are typically dispatched or triggered to update the event. So for instance, I'll click on restaurant action. So here, as you can see, we have dispatch function written over here for the get restaurant. So uh, I'll give some more detailed information about actions and how they work in the context of state management in React. So for context in state management libraries, the libraries like Redux, MobX, and Recoil are commonly used to manage the state of React application. These libraries help to maintain a predictable and centralized state that can be accessed and modified by various parts of our application. Now, dispatching actions are a React application in a React application using a state management library. We can dispatch actions to request changes to the state. This typically done using functions provided by the library, such as dispatch. We can also use reducers. So basically, reducers are functions responsible for updating the state based on the action dispatch. They take the current state and an action as an argument, and they return a new state object based on the action's type and data. So yeah, this was all about action. Now let's say here what we have done in restaurant action. So basically, in this code, it React application basically uses Redux for state management, and Axios is used for making HTTP requests. So basically here, coming to the get restaurant part, this is an asynchronous action which is used to fetch restaurant data from an API. It dispatches action to indicate the request is in progress, and upon a successful response, it dispatches an action with the retrieved restaurant data. And in case of an error, it dispatches an action with the error message. So as you can see here, if the if there is no error, it will dispatch this function, this both dispatch function, and if uh, in the error is caught, the catch block will catch it, and it will dispatch this particular dispatch function. Now similarly, we have written here sort by rating and sort by review. So basically these are synchronous actions used for sorting the restaurant data by ratings and review respectively. They simply return an object with a type to indicate the sorting criteria. The toggle wage only is an action which is also synchronous and toggles a vegetarian only filter. It is dispatched with in capital toggle wage only type. Now the clear errors is an asynchronous action. Clear any error messages in the state, it dispatches an action with the clear error types. So now I'll explain the components which we have used. So let me tell you through what exactly a component is. The component in React.js are building blocks of React application. They are self-contained, reusable pieces of code that encapsulate the UI and its logic. React applications are typically composed of multiple components which are arranged hierarchically to create a complex user interface. So components make it easier to manage and maintain our code by promoting reusability and modularity. So there are two types of components in React class, which are basically class component and functional component. But here we have used functional components, which are most used in today's JavaScript in React. So what are functional components? Basically, functional components are JavaScript functions that returns JSX. So they are simpler and more concise compared to class components. Functional components can also receive props as an argument and can use hooks to manage state and side effects. So basically, hooks are used to manage state and side effects, making functional components as powerful as class components. So for here, we have used uh, for here we have used use dispatch, use selector, which are the custom hooks we have made, and here use effect is the inbuilt hook of the React. In some parts, we have also used use state. So let me take you through use state hook. So the use state hook allows us to add state to functional component. It takes an initial state value and returns an array with the current state and a function to update that state. Use effect hook is used for managing side effects like data fetching, document object model manipulation, and more. It takes a function that runs after the component render, an array of dependency control when the effect should run. Now, these were all about the components in React.js. Now, here I'll just explain this code of home.js. So basically, this page is basically for rendering the homepage of our website. So here, firstly, we are import the necessary functions and components from various files which we have already defined. We also use dispatch and use selector from React Redux to interact with Redux store. In the use effect hook, it checks the for restaurant error. If there is an error, it shows an error message and using an alert. Then it dispatches an function to get the list of restaurants using get restaurant. So the code for the same is here. Now the component renders differently based on the state of restaurant loading and restaurant error and the restaurant data. So if restaurant loading is true, it shows a loading spinner using the loader component. If there's a restaurant error, it displays an error message using the message component. So the code for the same is here. If neither of the above condition is met, it displays a section that includes buttons for sorting and filtering restaurants as well as list of restaurants. So here you can see these are the three buttons which we can display out. So basically these buttons allows users to sort the restaurant by review, sort by rating, and toggle between displaying all restaurant and displaying only vegetarian restaurant using show veg only state. Also, it maps through the list of restaurant and displays each restaurant using the restaurant component, but it only displays restaurant that match the filter condition based on show veg only. The count restaurant component is also rendered at the beginning. So basically in summary, this particular code is a React component that fetches and displays the list of restaurants it provides. It also provides an option for sorting and filtering the list, handles loading and error set, and utilizes Redux for state management. So yeah, similarly, we also use the component concept for count restaurant food items, JS, menu, and restaurant JS. We also made a user folder where forgot password, login, profile, register, update profile, etc. files were defined. Similarly, for order and cards were also defined. So yeah, it was all about the code. components and action. Now, Purvesh will define what is constant and reducer. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
So thank you, Bhavik. Now let me start with the reducers. My name is Purvesh Kotecha and I am going to explain the reducer used in this code. Reducers. What is reducers? Reducer and redux are functions that specify how the application state change in the response to action. They are responsible for determining the new state of the application based on the previous state and the action that was dispatched. Now, let me explain you how we have used reducers in our project by explaining a couple of reducer code out of many reducers we have created in this project. So let me explain you this order reducer. So as usual, first we have imported the constant files from our constant folder, which are create order request, create order success, create order fail, my order request, my order success, my order fail, and order detail request, detail success, and order detail fail. These are the constants which we have imported from the order constants.js file. Then we have created the initial state, in which we have declared the initialized loading as false and error as null and order as null as well. Next, then we have the function new order reducer. This reducer function is responsible for managing the state related to creating a new order. In here we have the switch case from which the application will switch according to the states. The first is create order request state. If this action is dispatched, it sets the loading flag to true. The next is change order success state. This action is used when the new order has been successfully created. It sets the loading flag to false and stores the order detail in the order field. The next state is create order fail. If there is an error while creating a new order, this action is dispatched. It sets the loading flag to false and store the error detail in the error field. And the last, which is clear error. This action is used to clear any previous error is stored in the error field. The next function in this reducer file is my order reduce. Reduce. This reducer function manages the state for the user's order history. It maintains an array of orders. So in switch case, the first case is my order request. If this action is dispatched, it sets the loading flag to true. The next is my order success. This action is used when an order history has been successfully fetched. It sets the loading flag to false and stores the order in the order array. The next is my order fail. If there is an error while fetching the user's order history, this action is dispatched. It sets the loading flag to false and stores the error detail in the error field. And the last is clear errors. This action is used to clear any previous error stored in the error field. This was the my order reduce function. The next function is order detail reducer. This reducer function manages the state for the detail of the specific order. In this, there is also switch case, in which first case is order detail request. Order detail request. If this action is dispatched, it sets the loading flag to true. If the order detail success, what happens? If the order detail success, this action is used when the detail of the specific order have been successfully fetched. It sets the loading flag to false and stores the order detail to the order field. The next case is order detail fail. If there is an error while fetching the order details, this action is dispatched. It sets the loading flag to false and stores the error details in the error field. And the last is, as usual, the clear errors. This action is used to clear any previous error stored in the error field. So this was the order reducers. Let me explain you one more reducer file which is also important in this project, which is restaurant reducer. As we have seen in previous order reducers, here also we have imported some constants, which are all restaurants request, all restaurant success, all restaurant fail, clear errors, toggle wedge only, sort by rating, and sort by review. These all are the constants we have fetched from the restaurant constants.js file. Next, we have done here is initialized an initial state function in which we have the restaurant array, which is empty right now. Then we have the actual reducer function. It takes the current state and action as parameter based on the action type. It updates the state and return a new state. So what is inside this function? There is a switch case which has the different cases. First case is all restaurant request. All restaurant request.
This meeting is being recorded.
All restaurant request. If this action is dispatched, it sets the loading flag to true and clear any previous error. Then there is a state is all restaurant success. This action is used when restaurant data has been successfully fetched. It sets the loading flag to false, store the count of the restaurant and update the restaurant field with the data received in the action payload. The next is all restaurant fail. If there is an error while fetching restaurant data, this action is dispatched. It sets the loading flag to false and store the error detail in the error field. Now the next is toggle wedge only state. This action toggles the flag show wedge only to indicate whether to show the only vegetarian restaurant to all the restaurant. It also calculates the number of pure vegetarian restaurant based on the toggle state using the calculate pure veg count function, which we will discuss at the last of this video. Sort by rating. This action sorts the list of restaurants based on the rating in the descending order. The next is sort by review. This action stores the list of the restaurants based on the number of reviews in descending order. So the highest rating will be at the first and the lowest rating will be at the last. The next is the clear error as usual. This action is used to clear any previous error stored in the error field. In the last, as I have said, we are going to discuss the calculate pure wedge function. This is the helper function used to calculate the count of the pure veg restaurants based on the provided list of the restaurant and show veg only. It check if the flag is true and filter the vegetarian restaurants accordingly. Thank you.